Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It's part two of today's episode of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Let's take a look. I moved you over to the neighborhood map just to kind of give you an idea of what's going on. So, big old explosion. There's guards everywhere now. People are around. There's Macaria giving the sass to that guard, and he's like, "I'm just trying to do my job, ma'am." You have slunk away, our cat friend. So Rin, let's begin with you. So Rin, you wanted to find gather more clues.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
So
and I'm going to do that by talking to people rather than clues necessarily.
sure. I mean, people are clues. People are like clue factories.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally do. Okay. So these guards are like the front line of the watch. You imagine like someone who's actually in charge is still on their way. So yeah, Fala told you that they saw somebody running off in the direction of the bent nail. So like that way.
Okay.
Kind of that direction. And looking like they were worried someone was going to follow them, they took something off of the body of the gnome. And then started limping away, badly burned. So it looks like if this was the person who caused the fireball, it didn't go so great for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry for clarification. Was the gnome also the one that Jewel stole something off of?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The two people have stolen from this gnome after he was killed. Okay. So there is you look around the crowd and there's a bunch of kind of like nobodies, but your eye gets caught on a woman. She's in her like mid 40s. She's wearing like a fancy gown, almost like not a nightgown, but like she is puffed up like only a noble can be. She looks rich as hell. She's got like a huge hairdo with like pearls in it. And she's currently fanning herself like, oh my God, what did I just see? And kind of making a big deal out of it so everybody can see her being like, oh, I know something. I'm important. Trying to get a guard's attention.
Walk up to her with my little notepad open, my little notebook. Excuse me, ma'am.
She looks you up and down and she says, yes.
Did you happen to see what went on here? Anything important?
Perhaps. Who's asking?
Rin Stillwater of the Gray Hand.
She gives you a look. Make a persuade check.
Okay.
It's a lie because you're like affiliated with. You're like a Gray Hand pre-initiate.
13.
And she says, oh, I've heard of you. I mean, not you, of course, but your organization. Well, maybe I saw something. Terrible what happened.
Well, we're thinking it might be some kind of magical disaster, so best to investigate. What did you see?
And she says, a magical disaster, my goodness. Well, this would have never happened in my youth. This new black staff, she's just irresponsible. Isn't it your job to protect us from these sorts of things happening?
You can see, there's the visible grit teeth noise.
We can hear it. We hear just like...
Can't talk about her like that. And I go... Yes, well, the follow-up is the important thing at this point. Don't you think?
I don't know. Don't you have some kind of magic to go back in time and fix this sort of thing? Call Elminster or whatever you have to do.
I don't personally have that kind of power at my disposal, ma'am.
This is what I'm saying. There was a time where once people respected Waterdeep. And now it's all Baldur's Gate this. Icewind Dale that.
Do you have anything to tell me, or are you just wasting my time?
Well, I know, of course. I saw the whole thing. Well, I mean, not the whole thing, but some of the thing.
Please.
I was just coming from an appointment, and she kind of looks over her shoulder, and then she just says an appointment. And I was on my way home, and I saw a man, but it wasn't a man. It was a puppet. You ever seen one of those? Like a marionette, but without the strings and as big as a man. And she like looks over and she sees 8 and she's like, why, a bit like that one, but delicate like.
Yes,
It was
not the same one, surely.
well, no, this one was. It was up on the roof, and she points up here. It was up on the roof, and it threw something down into the crowd, and that caused the explosion. I saw the whole thing. Oh, those poor halflings! I saw them burned alive, like little children. It was awful.
So you think this was a specifically targeted thing?
Well, I'm sure I don't know.
All right. Well, that's good information to have. Thank you for your help.
She kind of like gives you a look, like, "Why is that? Is that all?" Like she's like, "But I'm more important than that. Like, keep asking me questions and talking to me."
Unless there's something else that you know about what happened.
Well, no, that's all I saw.
I'm tempted to push it because I think
I mean, you can make an insight check if you want to like kind of eyeball like what
I
she's
think
summing
I
up.
think that's a good call. Let's make an insight check. It's one of the very few skills I don't have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we'll make one. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, what you see is what you get. You can't pick out any more than that.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else that you can think of, then thank you. I'll see if anybody else saw anything and try and piece it together a little bit further. Mechanical man, that's very useful.
Terrible thing. You tell that Blackstaff she has a magical problem going on in her city and she needs to do something about it. I'll be telling all my friends about this.
Right. Kind of like turn and
you're like, cool, you do that.
Away. Like you do whatever it is.
Okay. So she leaves. I don't think even she knows what she expected. She was just kind of like, I mean, like, I'm important and I know things. Fine, never mind. Okay, so she heads off. And while you're talking to her, 8, what are you doing? The guards, if you're not like getting in their way, the guards are just trying to like move around you and they're not really sure who you belong to. So they're keeping an eye on you, but if you try to leave, you know they're going to be like, "Hey." So what are you doing?
I have a small hunch. My investigation was not very good to like see where it came from.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to I want to go over to like the crater itself.
Yeah.
And I look in the middle for it. Mm-hmm. And specifically, I'm looking because it looks too small to be a fireball spell.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking for like stuff like maybe, because I'm thinking my other character, I'm thinking of like maybe like a bomb of some kind, like an alchemical sort of deal. So I'm like looking for like bits of glass or like residue of like weird materials or something that doesn't belong.
Okay. So you're standing there and you're looking at it and you feel a tug on your cloak.
Yeah, I'm still not really used to it because I didn't like wear clothes before. Yeah. So it's like I've got this thing on.
Yeah, so someone's like tugging, and you turn, and there's like a slightly post-larval human, so an adolescent, a non-adult, and he's like kind of grubby and like wet, he's dripping, and he's got something clenched in his like little chubby fist, and he's like pulling on your cloak and just looking at you.
Yes.
Are you with the guard?
Sure.
You don't sound so certain.
It's a complicated question of the distribution of power between.
It's boring. I just wanted to tell you I saw a thing.
Very well. I will remember. I have a good memory.
I was with my friends, and he looks at the like all the dead halflings. And he says, and then there was fire and heat in my clothes. And he points and he's actually kind of like one of his arms is burned and like his shoulder, and he's got like red like blisters on his neck.
And he jumped in some like a well.
And he's either like in shock or like maybe he doesn't know how badly hurt he is. And he's like, I saw my friends and then I was on fire and I jumped in a barrel over there, and then I heard a plop and I found this. And he holds his hand out and there's like a little marble-sized like red and orange stone. It's perfectly spherical. And even at a glance, and we get the real close-up macro shot of it, and there's like fire like swirling around inside it, and he just holds it out like, and I found this.
Yeah, and I take it.
He closes his hand. He's like, no, it's mine now. I found it in the barrel. I just wanted to tell you about it.
Oh. Perhaps I could trade you for it.
Maybe. What you got? Your life, sword.
Yeah.
It's a bad trade.
I have like gold.
I have a pirate costume.
I have some.
You're not there.
No.
You're getting drunk.
Trying the pirate costume. I'm just like, I have gold.
How much gold?
5.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh yeah, I'm trained in this now.
He shakes his head. He's like, 5 gold? Who you think I am? Come on. 5 gold. This isn't the dock ward, buddy.
10 gold. That's a lot of gold.
Puts his hand out. Yeah, he's like, let's see it.
This kid is.
Yeah, I get out. I like count it.
Yeah, and he's watching and see like his eyes, like, whoa.
You just hold it like stacked perfectly.
Yeah.
On my palm.
Yeah. He holds his hand and he takes it and he gives you the thing. He's like, cool, have fun with your marbles. And he like puts the coins away and he just runs off before someone notices he has 10 gold.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, and I like look at it. Like it's like massive fingers, tiny object.
Mm-hmm.
Except he doesn't do that because he
doesn't. You have one eye. You just hold it and you scan it. Make an Arcana check.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, you have no idea what it is, but Rin might know. This looks like a Rin situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jewel, while this is happening, what are you doing?
Looking in her pouch.
Yeah,
around the corner.
Yeah. So this gnome, I think. Let's see. You get some like decent. It's not coins. It's gems. There are gems in this pouch, and let me see. How much does this guy have? There's like 3 different subsections with different information in them. Let's see. 5 100 GP gems.
Jewel closes the bag, tucks it away really carefully.
Yeah.
Best part is she doesn't actually want the money from them. They're just really shiny.
Yeah. They're baller expensive too. That's 500 gold you just got from this dead gnome. And so you're around the corner, like looking in your bag. So what do you want to do after you've figured out what you got here?
I think she'll also like duck back into kind of the main and see if there is anyone still lingering who has not talked to, like, that doesn't look like they've been chatted to by someone.
It looks like for the most part people have like dispersed. Yeah.
Okay.
However, you notice two figures coming down the road, 2 very like interesting looking figures. I'll show you the handout. And I think they're accompanied by let's see. 20. There are 20 constables of the city guard. Another group of 20 hopping down the street, and they're escorting these two figures. I'm gonna show them to you. They're great. This guy and his friend, this guy.
Oh my god, I want to play him.
So the two of them are approaching, and I think you see them walking up towards Makaria, who is still
His
talking.
last name is Blastwind.
I know. It's a shame. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're walking towards me. Got it.
Yeah. So they're walking towards you, and you're talking to the sergeant, and the guy with the sword, he's got his notebook out. He's got this badge of the City Watch, and he walks up, and he's like, well, what's all this then? And he comes up to you, and he says, Sergeant, and he turns to the rest of his men, and he kind of gives them a nod, like, you know what to do, and they head out, and he looks at you, and he says, hello, little miss, who are you?
I am Rin Stillwater. I live in that house there.
Make a deception check.
You fucking
Now he clucks his tongue at you and like,
Got a 5.
now Barnabas, and Barnabas looks over his sunglasses. Yes, Barnabas, what is the punishment for lying to a member of the city guard? And Barnabas is like, oh, it's very serious, very, very serious indeed. Yeah, yes. And the sergeant he says, now, miss, you might not have known this before. My name is Sergeant Cromley. I am a member of the Waterdeep City Guard. And he like kind of like shows you his badge, and he says, and I am in charge of justice in this investigation. Now I'm gonna ask you again. What is your name?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't see your badge. I'm just, I'm Makaria Rada, a cleric, an acolyte.
He's
of
writing with like a
Kalimdor.
little like charcoal like pencil. Right, cleric, got that, cleric of Kalimdor. So if I were to ask at the temple, they would confirm your identity.
Well, I recently left the temple, but yes, they would have records of me.
And
The orphanage.
Barnabas is like, now, Cromley, leave the young girl alone. She's clearly a member of the clergy and not capable of such kinds of magic. You didn't do this terrible thing, did you? Did you, my girl?
Of course not.
Right, that's what I thought. Yeah, Sergeant, excuse me. And he kind of like pushes past, and he walks over and starts doing kind of like a pacing back and forth and like looking at the explosion. And he like takes his glasses off and he cleans them on his robes and he puts them back on.
What kind of like this guy looks like a clergy person.
This guy, you want to make a
yeah, I want to make a like religion check or something. Be like,
sure, yeah, go ahead, make a religion
what
check.
kind of clergy-ish person? Nope.
No idea.
Fucking I don't
Clergy
know.
of the
Got
Church of
another
Purple.
5.
He looks like he just came from that gnome shop, is what he looks like.
Yeah, right. He's a clergy of Zablob.
So, Jewel, is there anything you want to do? You're kind of like you're hidden from the scene, right? Like you're like over here.
Does not want attention.
Yeah, like okay. So I'm gonna assume you're like listening in, and if there's anything you want to know or any rolls you want to make, you let me know. But you're like kind of sneaking around, and the guards don't.
Yeah, she's just kind of watching. I think the one thing is maybe circling around to like where 8 is, and if 8 like if she can figure out anything about the blast in particular, like where it came from, or where if there was a caster that wasn't one of the dead people, where they might have gone.
Yeah,
she'll scarp her off if she can.
Sure, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so Rin, you see these two guys come over. Did you want to talk to them, or you want to kind of steer?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
So I walk up once they're done with Makaria because I don't want to, interrupt their interrogation.
I will join you, but
okay,
let you speak first because I need to talk to you after.
Okay.
Yeah, and I walk up to the two of them and I say, what time of day is it? Afternoon?
Morning.
It's morning. Oh yeah, right. Morning, gentlemen. I assume you're here to investigate the explosion.
So Barnabas, he turns and he looks at you and he says, Yes, indeed. We've come to investigate this terrible situation. Now, this is Officer Cromley. And Cromley's like, ma'am? I am Barnabas Blastwind, a member of the Watchful Order of Magists and Protectors. Were you a witness to this ghastly crime?
Not a direct witness, but I have compiled some leads from those who were witness to the crime.
Compiled some leads, have you? Are you some kind of private investigator? I heard one of them lived in this neighborhood.
I like hold the notebook up that I've been writing in.
Okay. And he Cromley says, well, we're going to have to confiscate that. And he goes to reach for the book.
No, you can't. I'm sorry.
And he's like, I can't, can't I? Barnabas, remind me, what's the crime for, what's it called, obstructifying, obfuscating, get in the way of justice. And
I am standing before you, presenting you with the information that I have found. That was my intention all along, but I need to keep the book.
Yes, Officer Cromley, give this young woman a break. She's just trying to help. Come here, my girl. And he gestures, and he's like squinting over his glasses, and he keeps having to look through them and then look at you, like obviously his eyes are very bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he says, yes, come over here.
And I
Okay. And
wherever he's going.
Yeah, he puts his hand out, and he just says, let's see your notes.
Could I not read them to you from where I've written them? I think that would be better.
Not eager to give up the old journal, is it?
Well, you did just speak about confiscating it and putting it in your hands.
Yes. Officer Cromley, could you give us a moment? And because Cromley's just like lurking, and he's like, right, yeah, fine. And he walks off, and Barnabas says, there, now. There's no need to be afraid. You haven't committed any crime, unless, of course, you have. In which case, you'd best tell us both now.
I've not. Not at all.
Very good. Good. Clean living. It's important. So you're a denizen of this neighborhood.
Yes. Rin Stillwater. I live in the manor.
Yes. Troll something or other. Scapula. Right. Yes, of course. Yes. You and your friends, the young woman over there, and does this mechanical man belong to you?
Belong is the wrong word, but 8 works with me, yes.
An autonomous automaton. Is that how it is? Is that right, old boy? And he looks up at you, 8.
Yes.
Yes, very good. Good, right. Well, it takes all kinds, doesn't it? Well, so what did you see exactly? This is foul work. Poor people. Stain upon the neighborhood.
See any of it directly, but what I did learn was talking to Fala, the owner of the herb shop nearby, the flower shop nearby, was that there was something, a man that stumbled out of the flames.
A suspect.
And headed in the direction of the Bent Nail, which is a store just down that way.
What do you know about this Bent Nail?
It's a carpentry store. I'm sure it has nothing to do with it. It's just an easy way to dictate what direction this man stumbled off in. But he apparently seemed hurt, so I don't think he was the one to perpetrate such a thing unless it went very badly.
Well, you know how it is with these criminal types. They're eager, excitable, and often entirely fallible. Now, if I were to launch a fireball into a crowd, I'd certainly damn well do it right. Not that I would.
But, it's not a fireball. It's too small.
I'm sorry, I wasn't aware you were a wizard. A wizard and tell me, how do you know this, my metal friend?
I've seen it kill more people. Plus, it's too small.
Oh, familiar with killing, are you?
That does
Yes.
that does actually track with some other things that I learned from a woman in the crowd. Is she still around? Because she'd be super obvious. Right?
No, she's gone. Yeah,
she's gone.
Yeah.
From a woman in the crowd. I didn't think to get her name, unfortunately, but she said she saw a mechanical man, not 8. Obviously.
Oh yes, a
Much
different mechanical man. Yeah, of
smaller.
course.
Mechanical man on the roof above where the explosion happened, and that they had thrown something down into the crowd, and that's what set off the explosion. So that's really all I have.
That's not nothing. What about you? He looks at you, and Makari, you can walk over if you want while this is happening.
How Rin,
Yes.
how closely aligned are the guard and our organization?
Are you trying to be quiet, or are you just saying this in front of him?
I'm just trying, I'm saying it quietly, but I don't want to give away that we're talking quietly. It's a whole thing. I'm not very good at this.
And I raise a hand and I say, not particularly closely. 8. If there's something you want to talk to me about, then we can do it after we've finished speaking with the investigator here.
And you're going to help catch these people who did this bad thing.
Help catch them? We are going to catch them, my friend. Officer Crumley may not look it, but he's sharp as a nail. And I'm not a dullard myself. We'll have this figured out right quick.
You hear Macaria from a little ways away, like snicker.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I am aware that the cost for obstruction of justice is 200 gold pieces in fine and up to 10 days' work of hard labor. So, I should share this with you. And I give the little marble.
And he,
I show it.
you show it to him, and he's like, aha! And he leans in, and he squints at it, and he's like, oh my, that's very dangerous. You should give that to me now. And he puts his hand out.
Yeah,
ahead,
I do.
Okay.
And
he-
someone found one.
He pulls out a
This
handkerchief and like folds it in there, and he says, "It's very good you've brought this to me. Now, I don't want to alarm you, but well, this is only part of a larger thing. There's more where this came from, and I think one of these little things is responsible for what happened." And he looks back and he says, "Thank you. This could be very useful." And he tucks it into his satchel.
I thought so.
Unfortunately, that's all I have. So there's nothing I can provide further.
Well,
I'll happily follow up for you if that's...
He puts his hands up and he says, no. That won't be necessary. We'll handle it from here. You all just go on back inside and leave it to the guard.
All right.
I believe my oath to the Grey Hand will come into conflict with this.
Grey Hand, you say? Members of Force Grey, is it?
Yes.
Well,
We will help.
no. We don't need your help. It's the city guard and the Order of Magus has it under control. Everything is fine.
They are the lawful authority here. 8.
Yes, that's right, exactly. And the two of you, you'll be just over there in the dilapidated former tavern if we need to speak with you again.
Of course. Yes.
Maybe.
Very-
Trollskull Manor.
Very good. Now, don't leave Waterdeep, Now,
I don't plan to.
if you'll excuse me. And he turns around and he goes back to hemming and hawing over the crime scene.
I'm not sure that was the right choice.
Well, I did tell you if you had something that you weren't sure on to wait until we'd finished speaking to the inspectors. But if they are going to find the perpetrator, then what's the issue, really?
I did read that normally knights and such are protectors of the city. They seemed similar. I don't agree, though. Those men look incompetent.
Cromley like hears you and looks over his shoulder like, the hell did you say to me? He goes back to
I'll
work.
fight you, Cromley.
Like, put my hands up to 8 and go. Sometimes looks can be deceiving. Not everybody is as they appear. Just
Should we
because
go?
they seem a certain way doesn't mean that they will be necessarily.
Macario like comes over now that the Snoopy Snoop guys are like out of your hair and is like, well, that was an interesting morning event.
I'm thinking about going to the Bent Nail.
Yes.
Do we need furniture? He said not to go back to him until we figured out things with the bartender
You
ghost.
realize we don't have to sell the
That's
ship.
when Jewel like pops up.
Well, so
behind them.
Jewel, I actually wanted to give you an opportunity. Can you make a stealth check for me really quick?
Oh yeah.
Because I think you overhear a conversation that the other players don't have access to.
Then I will 100% make this stealth check.
Okay, nice. All right.
25.
So Barnabas walks over to Cromley, and the two of them are standing, like you're in like a little alley, and they're standing at the mouth of the alley, and they don't notice you in there. And so Barnabas walks over, and Cromley, whose first name is Saith for some reason, he's some kind of like skinless dragon. Saith like, right, well, what do you think? And Barnabas is like, well, I can't be entirely certain, but I don't think any of them did it. And he says, well, what do you mean? She said it was a mechanical man. Oh, I see a mechanical man over there. I say we arrest him, take him back to court. We do whatever it is you got to do to make someone like that talk. And Barnabas is like, no, Cromley, you're always so straightforward. I like that about you, but you have to be patient. Now, I've had a good look around. And here's what I think. And he gets all like conspiratorial, like, let's not let the peasants hear. And of course, the focus shifts, and you're just like, hey, I can hear you. He says, I think this was about that gnome. If you look at the way he fell, some of the blood, looks like he was running from someone. Yes, he has a knife. I know what you're thinking. He was probably running after someone. Well, I draw a knife. No, this is an armament of panic. He was running away, and if you look at the footprints, Cromley, look, Cromley, right, just there. Yes, I think he was running from 3 assailants. But I only see 2. See those men in the cloaks? Yes, there's Zentarum. I know. And Cromley's like, yeah, I saw the tattoo. And he's like, what? I'm not done. Quiet, Cromley. It looks to me, and this is the suspicious bit. It looks to me like the gnome was on his way towards that dilapidated tavern there. So I think these tavern owners aren't quite off the hook yet. Now, did these pursuers hurl the fireball in question? I know you're going to ask. And Cromley's like, well, I wasn't, but yes. The answer is no, of course, because, well, look at them. 2 of them died. And if that helpful half-elf's information is correct, it sounds to me like a 3rd got away. And then we have this mechanical man up on the roof. I think you know what we have on our hands, don't you, Cromley? And Cromley rolls his eyes, and Barnabas is like, a mystery. Now, come along, Sergeant. Come along, Sergeant. And he like turns, and the 2 of them walk off, and Cromley's just like, oh, here we go again. And they head off towards the blast to further investigate. So you sneak in through a window, and I think we cut to like the group of you like in the house deciding what to do next, or are you all headed somewhere? What do you want to do?
Weren't we gonna go check off after the guy who went to the Bent Nail or went in that direction? Didn't you want to do that?
I was gonna check by the Bent Nail, just in case it was the like owner of the store, or that he went actually into the Bent Nail or anything like that.
See if we can catch a trail,
or even see if the guy who owns that place like saw anything that direction.
Yeah,
that was my next plan.
Let's get this cloak, boy.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you want to head over there? Okay, yeah. So you head that direction, and I think when you get there, so you walk over that way, and you see as you come around the corner, right here. You see a man. He's wearing a dark coat, like almost like a trench coat, and he has a felt hat. And he's standing in the street, like staring at the bent nail. He's got his collar popped so you can't see it. It's like morning and it's not raining or anything. But he's
Trench, the private investigator.
He's standing there. Yeah, he invented this coat. It's named after him. And he's standing there and he's staring down the street. And you approach and he either ignores you or as you're walking.
Excuse me.
Yeah, and he stops and he turns. And you can see he's got like it's human. His face is in shadow because of the hat. He has like fairly like classical, like sort of chiseled features.
He's like every black and white private eye looking.
He's got a hand rolled like cigarette in his mouth, and he turns and he takes a drag off it and he blows. And somewhere in the distance you hear like a muted trumpet playing, and he says, "Ma'am,
I don't suppose you know anything more about what happened just outside Trollskull Manor an hour ago."
There was an explosion. Several people were killed. I've been investigating.
So have I. She says, like, aha.
He squints at you and he says, "Are you an investigator?"
Well, something happens right outside where you live, and...
Because there's only room for one investigator in this neighborhood, and that's me. You do know who I am.
She'll pass up. Are you Mr. Trench?
He nods. That's right. I see you've heard of me.
I saw the sign on your door.
That's right. I'm Vincent Trench, private investigator. I
Vincent
investigate.
Trench. Holy
Yeah.
Ooh.
So you and your little friends can run along home. Leave this to the professionals.
Do the professionals have any leads, or are they just wandering around staring at buildings?
I was investigating. You clearly don't understand.
I have some leads that I would be happy to share with you, were you perhaps a little bit more forthcoming with your own information, Mr. Trench.
I don't work with a partner. I'm a loose cannon. Do you understand?
So
well, to get our leads, you'll have to make an appointment.
And he looks at you and he says, "I'm sorry, I don't. Who are you?"
Listen, I'm not interested in whatever posturing this is. I just want to find out what happened. And if that means you'd like to investigate and then perhaps
No.
tell me.
I can't work with you. It's too dangerous. For you, not for me. You don't know what it's like. I've got history. The trumpets play a little louder.
Don't we all, Mr. Trench? Don't we all? So I'm going to take it that's a no on wanting to know additional details from the scene of the crime.
There's no way you know more about what happened than I do. I'm a professional. This is what I do.
I didn't see you there. I was there. So.
I'm very good at not being noticed.
See, I never would have pictured that, considering your manner.
He looks at the group of you, and then kind of is just like, Well, I'll tell you this. If you're going to investigate this, keep your eyes open. Waterdeep's a battleground these days. All kinds of ne'er-do-wells and shadow dwellers. People that should be locked up, put away. The kind of people who might murder your partner in cold blood. That's right. Dangerous people. So you gotta be careful, kid.
I will indeed keep
Good.
my eyes open.
Now, if I were you, I'd go in one of two directions. And he looks down the alley, and he says, see those footprints? The blood? Somebody was injured in that explosion. They came this way. But I think that's a red herring. I think the man you're looking for isn't a man at all. He's some kind of machine.
Well, I've heard both. Certainly.
Well,
A man on the ground and a machine on the roof.
and he nods slowly as you tell him the thing that he told you, and you're like, well, it sounds like you do understand what's going on here. Listen, the only thing I liked less than working with other people is competing with them, so stay out of my way. All right, well, I'm going this way, so don't follow me. And he just like walks back towards his house, like this way.
Okay.
Yeah. The trumpets in the soundtrack play him
just
off.
Let him go in an awkward kind of, all right, sort of way.
Yeah. So the group of you are just kind of standing out here, like wondering what the hell just happened.
I mean, he was right about the bloody footprints.
I
I assume.
Yeah, like there's some.
Doesn't
I mean,
mean
there's
he
a lot of
wasn't annoying.
footprints. And yeah, it does seem like somebody at least came like this way, to where you are. Whether they continue down the alley or not, is hard to say. But you could take a look around.
Yeah, I would like to.
Okay, so I think tracking is a survival test.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. If there is a trail, you lose it here.
Okay.
Oh, I'm good at this. Well, I'm
Maybe
not
you
really.
should have said something.
I mean, you just kind of.
I am less interested in this man than in the prospect of there being another of my kind here.
Well, see, he told us, and Makaria is just like, he told us to stay out of it. So instinctively, I want to.
Yes, I understand.
no,
your
I'm
I
with you.
understand your instincts quite well, Makaria. As soon as he said stay out of it, I knew you would want to pursue it.
I feel like there's some really interesting things that we could learn and some very exciting treasures that could be
Cool,
acquired.
cool.
And
Jewel, do you want to go on the roof and I'll be down here? And yes,
maybe if there was someone on the roof,
there was someone on the roof.
let's go look at the roof. And then Jewel just like climbs up.
Yeah, right. You're like slowly crouching down. Let's go look at the roof, and like fly.
Can I make a survival roll with advantage? She's helping me from like above. We're trying to track these motherfuckers
Well,
down.
it sounds like you're doing two different things. Jewel wants to go look at the roof,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
and you want to look for down here for footprints. Yeah, Makaria, you can make a roll down here by yourself, to see if you can track.
I'm
these.
using my inspiration out of spite.
Okay. Oh yeah. Also,
gonna-
Rin, and 8 both take inspiration. if
I'm
you don't already have
gonna
it.
go into the bent nail.
21!
The bent nail is currently closed. There is a sign. There's a sign in the window that says "Back tomorrow," and it's flipped over.
Damn it. Okay. Well, I'm not going there then. I guess.
Makaria.
I'll wait down here.
I get a
on the-
21 out of spite.
Okay, your spite 21. So there are drops of blood on the ground, and footprints you can track that lead out into the ward.
As soon as I get like differentiated from the rest of the like foot traffic, the trail, like I identify which boot tracks I'm following. I'm like, eight, come on, let's this way.
And Eight's like got one hand on the top of the building, just like looking down, and he's like, "Oh, are we?"
You're like about to climb up the wall.
I don't care about people who got injured. I'm about this other machine.
Oh. Rin, this way, Rin.
Yes.
I found that the blood footprint.
Right. Let's take a look then, shall we?
So you said it goes further into the ward or whatever?
Yeah.
Let's go. And I make sure that the trench coat fellow isn't following us and trying to snoop our lead.
Okay. So you want to head off, and then so who's going on that trail? Rin and Makaria?
Yeah.
And then Aid and Jewel are gonna split up and try to investigate both things at once.
Yeah.
I think this is a bad
Okay,
idea.
well, let's talk about what's on the roof. So Jewel, you climb up onto the roof up here. You have to kind of go around, right? Because otherwise the guards would be like, "Oh, what are you doing?"
She's being sneaky.
Yeah, exactly. So you sneak around, sneak up.
I think she like hears like the clomp of 8, and then she's like, "Shh, I'll look and tell you what's there." You're better at the grabbing. I'm better at the stabbing and the looking.
Ah, the old grab and stab.
Mhm.
I'm better at stabbing than you are as well.
Well, you know what? One of us is quiet and the other one isn't. She turns around,
Yep.
like biffs her tail at his face, and sneaks down to look
Perfect.
at the edge of the roof.
Okay, so you clamber up onto the roof, and the ceiling of the roof is like shale, and it's disturbed. Like obviously someone has been like fucking around up here. Can you make an investigation check?
I can. I actually have investigation. Oh fuck!
Yeah.
Sometimes those dice, you think they're gonna roll something. They don't.
Sometimes,
They don't.
yep. Nope, not so much.
No.
Okay, yeah. So you get up there and you're like, all right, I can investigate this. Yeah, it looks like somebody without having to roll, you can tell somebody was up here. And they've disturbed the tiles or whatever of the roof.
She will report that back and be like, someone was here.
Someone was up there.
And either they ran away on the ground or they ran away on the roof.
It's possible they also flew away. You're not totally sure.
She doesn't add that part
Okay.
because it makes her sound less competent. And she's like, if it was a metal man, 8 can't fly, so probably wasn't flying away.
Yeah.
So which way do we want to go?
Fine. We will locate this wounded flesh creature instead.
We can go look. I'm happy to look for this metal person.
Well, you didn't find a trail, so
Do you want to go look and then get caught by the guards?
I don't care about the gods.
Okay, fine. Have fun. I'll be over here.
All right, I'm going to climb up on a roof.
Okay, all right. So you're not making any effort to stealth by the guards that are there, and so there's a guard who's like, "Oi, oi, oi, where are you going?" And he like steps up in the way. He's like, "You can't go back there. It's a criminal investigatory situation, so you just have
Go
to
on the
turn back
roof.
around."
No, I'm going on the roof.
Oh, you are you?
Yes.
Well, I say you're not. So, everyone who's a city guard, raise your hand. Oh, it's me. I am, and you.
I wouldn't be obstructing justice. I would be doing other things at the same time.
And he shakes his head. He says, I can't allow you to climb on up there and start faffing around. It's a crime scene. You might exacerbate the." And he's like looking over at Barnabas and Cromley, and they're not paying attention to him.
And I say to him, "Oh, I'm going to use my persuasion skills. Are you ready?"
It's already.
If I find anything on the roof, I will relay it back to you. We can pretend that you found it, and you can tell your boss, and he might give you some sort of renown within the faction that you work for.
So you want to convince him, like, I'm going to do the work and then you can take the credit for it?
Yeah.
All right, make a persuade check.
You should do that.
So
Dude.
let me get this straight. You're going to climb up there and you're going to look around. And you're going to come down here and tell me what you saw. And then I get to tell everyone I saw it. Well, see, here's the thing. You ain't even got any eyes. So thanks, but no thanks. You can just move along.
I can see.
Yeah. Well, then you can see me telling you to move along. Come on
I
now.
can hear you do that as well.
Yes, good. Well, good. You have both senses. You ain't got any
I'm
ears either.
very frustrated with you.
Yes.
Please.
Well, I hear that a lot.
Please do not obstruct me from doing this.
Right, if anybody's obstructing anybody, it's you obstructing me from having a decent day. Listen, I'm going to get my supervisor if you keep this up.
Maybe you should.
Yeah, maybe I should. And then he's like, but if I do that, then
Yep, then I'm going to...
He's like, Sergeant! Yeah, he's coming. I saw him. He's busy. He'll be here. But you're not. You can't go. I'm not going
I
anywhere.
don't have to sleep.
What did you say?
Jewel is 100% standing like 10 feet away and just cackling.
Yeah,
to
right. Totally. So he's not willing to leave, but also like no one's gonna come help him.
8.
What?
Why don't we just look around on the ground and see if we find a trail?
Look around on the ground.
I don't know. Do you all have like homing beacons or something? Can you just like call each other?
Wow.
I'm going to pretend that you didn't say that.
I'm going to take that as a no.
To this injured person, such that I might do a good deed without anyone else obstructing me. Please.
And the guard is like, look, I know in situations of considerable emotional distress, we all just want to help. And I know you think you're going to help, but you have to trust the guard. We've been doing this a very long time, and we will take care of it, and we will make sure everyone is okay, and we will catch the awful, nasty man that did this, or men, or women, or whoever. We'll get him. Don't you worry your chassis about it. Now just go on back to your wherever you folks sleep and rest. It's been a hard day. Come on now. We've got it under control.
Okay. I turn around to Jewel.
Yeah, and he's like, good. I'm a good guard.
And I've been keeping up the blue.
Yeah.
And I turn around to Jewel and it just goes red.
Bum 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 bum.
And I say very quietly, fine. Let's go with the others.
We'll find other things later.
All right. So the two of you dash to catch up with Rin and Makaria, and we will fade to break on that. So we're gonna take a short break. Stick around. We have more cool art to show you, and we will be right back. Don't go anywhere.